Hello and welcome to Susie B. Living's Gardening by the Moon series. I'm sitting outside in the sunshine. How wonderful is that? Surrounded by all my lovely seedling babies. So we've had a great week here. The weather has been amazing. So I have had a lot done. I've got my emerald greenhouse ready to be planted up. I'm working on the greenhouse behind me to be planted up as well. And it's all exciting. But this week I start sowing again in earnest. I haven't sowed anything yet in May because I had a little bit of a pause to try and catch up with all my transplanting, and I was really up to date with everything. But now I start sowing again. And I am going to give you what I am going to be doing from Monday the 13th of May to Wednesday the 15th of May. So Monday the 13th and Tuesday the 14th of May are both leaves days. So I will tell you first of all what I'm going to be sowing, and I'll show you what I have got in front of me to do with my sowing. Okay. I am going to sow another batch of spring onions, or salad onions if you want to call them that. And now I swap over my variety. And the variety that I am going to grow now in the summer is a variety called Entita. E-N-T-I-T-A. I haven't got a picture, but it is just a bunching onion. So you know, if you want to see what bunching onions look like, I have got a very nice tray just here in front of you that I need to transplant out. So, Entita. I used to sow, in the summer, I used to sow a variety called Summer Island, and it was really good, but I haven't been able to find any seeds for it anymore. So I did my research and found out that this Entita variety does really well in warm weather. Spring onions, or bunching onions, don't do great in the summer months because they have a tendency to go to seed. So you really have to source your varieties really well, because I like to eat spring onions or salad onions all year round. I have my bulbing onions in the ground that I'm eating now as spring onions, so that's fine. But now I like to have another batch going to keep everything up to date. So that is what I'm going to be doing, and I am going to be sowing 40 of those in this type of tray, in the container-wise 40 trays, and I will be sowing 6 to 7 seeds per cell. This time of year you can multi-sow a lot because things grow very fast, and bunching onions don't need to bulb up, so they can afford to be bosom buddies together. That's the first thing. The second thing that I am sowing for winter is my red cabbage. Okay, so I have a tray already of red cabbage here on the go. And these ones here I am sowing again, same varieties, red Ladero, which is an F1, now that is clubroot resistant, and red drumhead, which is our favourite for winter. The red drumhead is so good that you can actually dig it out of the ground and put it into pots and overwinter it. It is such a great cabbage. So I will be sowing a few extras, and the reason why I'm sowing a few extras is because the drumhead is the one that we have in the winter that I really enjoy, and the Ladero is just if any spaces open up that I can put them in, because actually yesterday was the last of our red cabbage eaten. So now we're enjoying other cabbages, and the red cabbage from here will go into the ground, and that will continue us on with our eatings. So I'm going to be doing 6 Ladero, I'm going to be doing 8 red drumhead, and the other thing that I'm going to be doing is I am doing a winter Savoy cabbage. I've already got Savoy cabbage here, And this is a kind of warm weather loving variety of Savoy, and this is called Preludium. And I want to do a winter Savoy as well. And the winter Savoy that I've chosen is one called Virtus. I'll just come up and show you this packet. This variety is fantastic for cold weather. It withstands frost, it withstands snow to a certain extent. It is a great variety for the cold weather. So if you are interested in growing a Savoy for the winter, I highly recommend Virtus as well. I am going to be doing 4 of those. Right, we're on to lettuce again. So I have got lettuce already dotted up. I have just finished yesterday again, along with the cabbage. I've just finished my overwintered lettuce that I had in the greenhouse behind me. So that's all been used. Now I'm on to the lettuce that I've got in the raised beds here at home, and also on the allotment in the greenhouse. And they were lettuce that I started at the beginning of the year. So now I'm up to my next batch of lettuce. I've already sowed, how many? 15 cells of canasta, because canasta is our favourite summer lettuce. That's all up at the moment. And now I'm going to add to that. So I'm going to do some more richias. Oop, don't drop that. And richia is this here. Great variety for the summer. While I'm up, I'll show you the other ones that have got pictures. Canasta. So this is canasta. It's such a great lettuce, and it does really well in the summer. What other pictures have we got? And I've got Navara, of course, which is my favourite oak leaf. So I will be doing 4 richias, 4 canastas, 4 Navaras as well. And then I am going to add a couple of the Salanova ones. And the Salanova ones I've got growing here and over at the allotment. I'm going to do Haflex again. Remember, that's that kind of crinkly one that is red on the ends and green in the middle. And I am going to be doing Extranet, or Excavo it's called. And that is the same crinkly but all green. So those ones are going to go in, and I'm doing 4 each of those as well. So, and they're going to be harvested as whole heads instead of just, you know, leaves from the outside. I've already got a veggie pod with where I sowed a mix of all different types of lettuce for cut and come, and they're starting to come up as well. So that is Monday and Tuesday for sowing. Okay, now let's talk about transplanting. I need to go to my next page here. All right, transplanting, as you can see, I've got spring onions. I've also got another lot of spring onions here. I've always got spring onions or salad onions at different stages. So I've either got them in the garden ready that we're eating, I've got them transplanted in the garden as well. I've got them in cells like this where I need to transplant, and then I've got, this was my latest batch here, another cell. I sowed another 40 the other day. So I've always got successions of spring onions going because we do eat a lot of them. The other thing I want to transplant is I've got some very nice spinach, and I don't know how it's come good. I think it's come good because, again, I brought it outside. I took it from inside, and look at it. This spinach is the Santa Cruz, and it is the Mikado, and this is going out into the garden. Let me just pop it back here again. Whoops, don't want to knock you over. So that needs to be transplanted out. The other thing, I have got a tray over in my veggie pot of red pak choi. It's a bit late for it. I'm not sowing any more Asian greens, but that red pak choi is looking really good. So I'm going to put it in the veggie pot, get it going really quickly, harvest it, and then it's done. The other thing that I also have to transplant is I have a lot of herbs. So here I've got some coriander in some pots, and I've got a lot of little herbs. I've got coriander in some smaller modules as well. I've got some parsley in some pots, and they all need to be just dotted around in the garden. So that's transplanting. Then I have to pot on. So see all of these brassicas that I showed you in front of me here. I've also got a tray of Kales as well. These I'm not going to transplant these out direct. I am going to pot them on. So what I want to do is I want them to get a really good root system, and I just want to show you something. So I'll be back in a mo. Okay, I'm back. So potting on. Okay, so see this here. I have got a tray of Kales, okay? I have the scarlet kale and I've got Pentland brig here. Now, I need to pot these on because these are completely root bound. Here, you can see. The other day I did a tray, and it was a tray of dwarf curly kale. Now I potted these on not even a week ago now. I'm going to just take it out of this pot, and I put them in 9 centimetre pots. I want to show you how fast these grow. Look at that. Look at the root system on that. So that's what I do with my brassicas. I get them going really beautifully. Okay, we'll take off that leaf. That doesn't look great. Let's just stick you there. And look, absolutely gorgeous. And that's what I do with all my brassicas. I don't really put them in the ground when they're small. Also, what it does is it gives me a chance to find room for them. So if I haven't got room on the allotment, I have to find room somewhere here for them as well. So that's what I've got to do. I have to do some potting on of brassicas. And I've got these Savoys, I've got the red cabbages, I've got those Kales as well, I've got the Courgettes. So that's a job as well. The other thing I've got to do is I've got to do a little bit of pricking out. So I've got some Brussels in sight that I need to prick out, and I prick them out into this size module first. Once they get going, they then go into the next one. Like I say, I'm kind of delaying having to put them out because I have to find spaces. So that is what I am doing. That's that. Okay, let's talk about weeding and maintenance. So weeding and maintenance, what have we got? I've got Kales on the allotment. I have lettuce. So I've got lettuce in the greenhouse on the allotment. I've got lettuce here in the garden as well. I have little cabbages in the garden here. The cabbages that were eaten by the pigeons, if you watch my vlog, a while back I showed you that I had pigeon damage on my cabbages because I didn't net them in time. The cabbage has regrown, but they are full of cabbage aphid, and I'm not very happy about that. And I think it's because when the pigeons nibbled on the cabbages, they weakened the plant, and so now the new growth came. It was quite soft and lush, and the cabbage aphid is in there. So I was going to use them as spring greens. I think I'm going to take them out and compost them. I've got another 5 or so cabbages as well, pointy cabbages, but they're doing really well. And they are in a bed mixed with other things. And that is actually quite a good thing to do. If you're gardening veg, to confuse pests, sometimes it's really good to interplant with other things. So the pest comes along and it just doesn't really get what it's got in front of it. The cabbages that have got I can't even remember how to say the cabbage aphid, you know, that awful woolly stuff. It's just one bed of cabbages. So there you are, it's all there in front of you. It's like a smorgasbord. The other one is interplanted with peas behind and lettuce in front. So I think it confused them. it works. I'm sure it works. So that's that. Spring onions. I have to go through my spring onion bed again and give it a good weed. I've got some more spring onions that I've got in another bed that's interplanted with beetroot and peas. I need to weed those. Have a look at the good cabbages that I've got and all my herbs. I need to have a really good look at my herbs as well. I've got a lot of herbs in like 9 in this size container, like this. And I need to pot them on into bigger containers. So that's that. And feeding, okay, so this time of year is where I start to give everything a little bit of a feed. So I will go around and I will do a little bit of a multi-purpose feed, very, very weak, or a seaweed feed. And I do that this time of year, especially if things have been in the ground for a long time, like those cabbages that I was telling you about. So I need to just give them just a little bit of help, and that's that. Wednesday, the 15th of May, is a fruits day, and fruits days are very exciting in spring and summer because we have a lot going on. So what am I going to sow? The first thing I'm going to sow is some sweet corn. I only sow Incredible. It's an F1, and that is all I sow now with sweet corn because it is so reliable. I love it. So I'm going to be doing 12 of those. The next thing now I'm adding to my bean collection is I am going to do a runner bean. I'm not a big runner bean lover, but the one that I do quite like is called Lady Di. There's no photo, but a runner bean is a runner bean. And it's nice. I don't mind it at all. So I'm going to do 12 of those. The other beans I'm going to now start adding to my collection of bean plants is Neckar Gold. It's a yellow bean. It's a flat bean, and it is absolutely delicious, and it is so prolific. It's very, very long, and we had some last year on the allotment, and it just was fabulous. It can get really big, and it never gets stringy or tough. It's a great bin. The other one that's also just as good is Cos Violet. I'm going to do 12 of those. That's a purple variety. Again, it gets very big and it doesn't get stringy. Absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to do some more Cobra, which is the green variety that I do. Transplanting. Okay, so I have got, it's time now to start getting these two greenhouses full and the one on the allotment. The emerald greenhouse behind you is going to have my peppers and chilies. Okay, this greenhouse here behind me is going to have my tomatoes and whatever else will fit in there, maybe aubergines. The one on the allotment's going to have cucumbers and melons. So they're all different environments, and now's the time where I start planting them up. I will show you actually in my vlog next week, probably next week, because I'll start doing it. I'll start bringing the plants out next week. I've got an automatic watering system. Well, it's not automatic because it's gravity fed. It's a gravity fed automatic. It's a gravity-fed watering system by a company called Autopot, and it works by having a tank of water, and it gravity feeds to trays, and the pots sit in the trays. It is absolutely fantastic. So that is what's going to happen. So I've got cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers and chilies. Courgettes are doing really well in the greenhouse behind me. I've already got quite a large courgette that I need to pick. Beans I want to transplant into a pot. I want to put my first lot of beans in a pot in this greenhouse, and my melons need to be transplanted out as well. Weeding and maintenance. Broad beans. I need to just weed the broad bean bed over at the allotment. I've got netting, I've got kind of bird netting over it at the moment, just for the pigeons, but I think it could probably come off now, and I just have to have a look, see if anything needs staking, and weed it. But the broad beans over there look fantastic. The broad beans here that I've got in pots are wonderful. This is like our little snacking area here. We come out, we sit here and we have a snack of broad beans. And on the other side I've got my peas in pots as well. The peas in the garden, the Oregon sugar pod in the garden are ready. So I've been snacking on those as well. And the sugar snap peas are a little bit behind because I didn't stake them. I've just staked them, so they were kind of falling over. That's those. The other thing I need to do some maintenance on is my strawberry bed, because I'm just about to put a net over the top of it. So I've got to get in there and do a little bit more weeding in that strawberry bed before I do that. And we are harvesting strawberries in our hanging baskets here in the greenhouse, and they're absolutely delicious. And courgettes, yeah, greenhouse, and then any fruit. I'm just going to have a bit of a look around and see what's needs a net over the top, how everything's going, maybe give my citrus another feed. Yeah, that type of thing. So that is the weeding and maintenance, and yes, and that also includes feeding as well, because I think I'm going to feed my fruit trees and feed my citrus once again. So that's it. That takes us to Wednesday, the 15th of May. There's quite a lot to do, like I say, at this time of year, so that's why I've divided the week in half again, Monday to Wednesday, and I will be back on Wednesday night to give you your next update, Thursday to Sunday. If you've got any questions, please write below and ask me, because I answer everybody's questions. I did another talk the other night, which was interesting. And you always get asked some really interesting questions, actually. But yeah, the people were really lovely, and I think they enjoyed it. So I will see you later. I'm Susie B from Susie B Living, and give us a thumbs up. I hope that you are moon phase gardening. If you've just joined me this year for the growing season, hello, and I hope that you have great success with moon phase gardening. I swear by it. I think it is absolutely wonderful. Of course, there are a lot of skeptics out there, but there are a lot of skeptics about everything, actually. I always say to skeptics, look, try it once, and if you don't like it then great. But if you haven't tried it, just, I don't know, maybe just try it. Okay. So I will see you later, and subscribe, because then you'll get these onward, 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 onward for the whole year. I will see you later. Bye.